Grace and peace, everybody. This is Kimberly Phillips, and I want to welcome you to Free Dance Ministry Resources. The purpose of this channel is to provide you with free resources in the way of videos, choreography videos, tips, trainings, teachings. Listen, anything that we can do to be a blessing to you to further kingdom arts, we're going to try to do it. So if you've never subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. And do me a favor, like this video too if you have found the content useful. Listen, I know it's been a while since I've done a live video, or actually a video. I think I did one a couple of weeks ago, but I am scheduled to provide videos for you guys on a weekly basis. So I'm going to get back to that schedule in a couple of weeks. But what I plan on doing is a devotional, a 5 or 7 day live devotional with you guys, just digesting a particular topic on dance ministry. So look forward to seeing a post regarding when that is going to start. And then I'm going to take like 2 or 3 weeks off because I'm going to need it. And then we'll be back to weekly videos. I have some more choreography videos that I'm going to do for you guys, some more demonstrations coming up as well. The purpose of this particular video is for me to just share a little bit about tips that I have found useful in planning a dance workshop or even a dance conference. Now, I am in the process of coordinating a worship arts encounter that Christ Center for Dance has on. We used to have it on a yearly basis, and we started to go back into that rotation last year. It's called the Worship Arts Encounter. The theme is the meeting place. And I know that there are people that desire to do a workshop or to do a conference or to do like a worship arts encounter. So I wanted to do this video to kind of walk you guys through. So I may do a series of these, maybe once a month, to share with you guys some tips that are just kind of stirring in my head at that very moment, so that they can be a blessing for you or to you. I know that when I did my first dance conference, it was in, I want to say 2006. I had never done one before. I had only been to one in my life. I hadn't really gone, I've been to two. I went to a prophetic conference that had dance in it. And then I went to a dance conference, and it was just amazing. And, when the Lord put it on our hearts for Christ Center to do one, we were like, we've never done one, but we had done two productions, dance productions since then. So we were like, well, how much harder can it be? We did a production for 300 people, and then we did one for 600 people. So, how hard could this be? Listen, I had no idea. No idea. So I wanted to quickly share with you guys. I think this is going to be 3 tips. 3 tips that have blessed my life. Once I learned them, I had to experience them and learn them, and I hope that they are a blessing to you. All right. So the first tip I'm going to give you guys is about planning responsibly. Now, I know that this is I know that this may seem very simple, but you really have to plan responsibly. Jesus teaches a parable about a man who sets out to build a home. However, he didn't count the cost to see if he could even finish it. So what happens? The man is unable to finish the project, and people are looking at him like, what in the world? How come you didn't finish? They're making a mockery out of him. They're saying, what type of person is going to start something and not finish it because of bad planning? Listen, you don't want to be that person. Unfortunately, I have gone to events that at the tail end, they have to raise another offering to pay for the expenses. That's very hard. And I can't imagine having to be in that dire situation. I'm going to share about situations that I have been in, because you can't even really enjoy the conference. You see people coming in and you see money, you see dollar signs. That's all that you see. You're asking about the love offerings. You're asking about this and this and this and this. And that totally sucks up the enjoyment that you're supposed to have and what God wants to give you, because you're worried about numbers instead of planning responsibly, really counting the cost and assessing what it is that you can actually do, right? God is not a bad planner. He is not a bad manager. Chances are, if we would have went to him earlier and got the plan and submitted to it. That's important, because sometimes in your planning, and this is my another tip, you can't plan it like someone else's. And you have to get out of that selfish desire to want to be bigger than you, don't take this the wrong way, than you actually are, or to do things outside of your capacity. We're going to talk about that though. But planning responsibly means that you're going to count the cost, right? You're going to see, if I want 100 people, what is it going to take to manage that? How much money are we actually going to need to accommodate the people? You're looking at room sizes. The room sizes increase, right, based off of the square footage. You're looking at location. You're looking at parking. You're looking at conference materials. You're looking at gifts because your numbers have increased. You're looking at hours. You're looking at how many volunteers do you now need to serve, because that's what you're doing, to serve that X amount of people that you are expecting. Marketing expenses, everything increases. But if you don't plan out responsibly, your expenses are not going to be paid. And listen, again, God is not a bad planner, because he may say, listen, you want 100 people. I'm only going to really send 30. I'm your reach and your capacity to manage, plan, and even faith is at 30 people. So that's the number that you have to stick in, and you have to submit to that. Listen, Christ Center, we've only had 1 year. Now, again, I've been doing productions. When I say production, I mean writing out a theater, writing out a script, having skits between dances, doing all of that, songs, live music. I've written plays, I've done musicals before, since 2005-ish, right? So 2005-ish. And each year we've done at least one large event. Chances are we've done maybe two or three. Um, Three events, maybe two large, maybe one a small dance gathering. So I've been doing this for a number of years. And we've only had 1 year that it took us a year to pay off the facility. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to be honest with you. Because we had a miracle the year before, right? It was 2 weeks before the production. We only sold like 8 tickets or something. We only had like $200. The expenses for the facility was $3,200. Where are we getting this money from? Should we cancel? We got tickets out there. We got this, we got this. We prayed about it. God said no. And we were like, okay. The week after that, ticket sales of $1,000 came in. Week after that, basically everything was paid. At the door, we had about maybe 1,500. I remember my sister and I, because I didn't anticipate all of those growth. We had to pull volunteers from everywhere, because we did not anticipate to have 500-600 people in an auditorium. So my sister and I, at the end, she was like, I have something to show you. And she grabbed me by the hand. We went into a room. She closed the door. I think she locked it. And she showed me all the money. And we screamed and praised and cried and was. But because of that, the next year, I wasn't on my face before the Lord like I should have been. Now listen to this. Listen to this. My best friend had just died. I was going through a process of mourning. I was about to be evicted from my apartment because I was giving all of my money to Christ Center at the time. I've done that for years, but that's another testimony. And I was about to be evicted. So I had that on my mind. Where am I going to live? I had the production going on. And I put this weight on myself that because we had 600 people last year, that we have to produce the same. I didn't ask the Father. And what happened? We had about maybe 300 people come, but I overshot. The expenses of the facility absorbed everything. And we ended up owing them, I think it was maybe $1,200. And it took a year to pay it off, but gradually each month sent them a check, sent them a check, sent them a check. The Lord gave us grace and favor with them that we were able to do that. But the Lord said, you can't do this again. There's people relying on you and depending on you to make the right decision. And you have to get that from me. Do you hear that, guys? Because listen, sometimes we go through stuff. We're like, oh, it's because I was in depression. Listen, I've been there before. I've been in a depression and it was hard to make decisions. And God was like, you can't stay here. You can't be that selfish that you just want to wallow away in self-pity in a depression where there are decisions and things that you have to do for my kingdom. You have to do for yourself. If not for yourself, because I haven't given up on you. So the Lord taught me a lesson. And since then, we have never owed a facility nothing. I'm telling you, by the time we walk into a place, everything's paid. I have everybody's stipend, everyone's guest speaker, everyone's money is done. Planned responsibly. That is probably the most important tip. You have to stay within your means. That's another thing too. You have to stay within your means, your level of faith, because everyone's faith is at a different level. Not that one's greater than the other, but listen, like I said before, you have to be realistic. Can you manage 30 people? Can you service 30 people? Can you provide for them customer service? Can you answer their emails? Can you provide for them when they come to the front desk and ask questions? Or 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 are you shooting for 100 people, but you're going to mismanage that? And then you're going to be wasting money. You have to choose everything. You have to be realistic. That's another point. Be realistic. Now, God can do anything, but you have to go to Him. Lord, what is my reality in this situation? Do you hear that? What is my reality in this situation? Whatever He says it is, it is. Whatever you feel in your heart to do, and you've come out of a place of prayer. And don't let anyone tell you different. I've had over the years, I had people say, well, I think you should do this, and I think you should do this, or you shouldn't do that. It's not going to work. Listen, at the end of the day, you're the one that's held accountable by God and man. You're the one that people are coming after for if stuff's not right. It's you, it's not them. Don't be swayed, don't be moved. Your conference or your workshop needs to be God birth. It has to be something that God calls. He's calling for people to gather for a reason. You got to find out, is it God calling me? And what is the purpose? What's the reason? Don't model it. Don't go off of a previous business model. Now, there are some things that you can replicate, some business standards and all of that. That's right. But as far as your theme and the type and all of this, you gotta go with what God is saying. People are going to have their opinion. Do you hear that? People will have their opinion, and you can tell them, thank you, but you can run your own conference. I'm not trying to be rude, and I'm not trying to be, but this is the direction that God is having me to go. Another tip, choose your staff or your team wisely. Don't go off by the outward appearance. Don't choose your best friends because they're just, don't do that. Choose and ask the people that God puts on your heart to ask. Don't go by the outward appearance. What does that mean? That means all because someone is seems stagnant or doesn't seem connected or doesn't seem this listen, you don't know what God has locked in them. You don't know some gifts are like time sensitive, I would say. It's not until you get in a particular season that God calls forth the gift and it comes alive. It's not until sometimes people have to be planted in the right soil, meaning a part of the right team, for their gift to be activated. So you never know what's in someone. Listen, I never knew what was inside of me until I did something. I never knew the things that I could do until I did them. No idea. So your team may be the same way, but you need a team. You can't shoulder this by yourself. If anything, like you may say, well, I'm only planning to have 15 people. You still need an intercessor. You still need someone to guard and have your back and pray for you and your family and pray for the event and pray against snares and traps and devices and praise and all of that. And that can see a watchman, like you still need someone. And then you should have someone to help you with the clerical things, if not only to proofread stuff. So you have 3 people. Those are my suggestions. If you're like, I don't need a small team, have God identify your intercessor or the intercessors for that event, and have him identify someone to help you run clerical, run your, you know, run that registration or however you want to do it. But you do need a team. And my last point is to, use the resources that, I mean, there's tons of free stuff now. There's online forms, there's Google forms, there's Cognito forms. I mean, there's so many online free resources that you can use to help you manage your conference. You have Eventbrite, you have um, all types of stuff. You just have to research. I think one of my videos that I did was on forms and different resources for your dance ministry. Check that out because I list some helpful online tools there because you want to make life easier for you. Okay, you want to make life easier and you want to make your process of people coming to your conference as easy as possible. Be realistic though. What can you manage? Plan responsibly and choose your team wisely. So, listen, that's just my tidbits. Um, I'm thinking about doing something more detailed, but I'm not sure when. There are some online courses that I'm in the process of building, one on dance terminology, and another one called Dancing in the Dark, dancing through um, the storms in your life. So I'm working on those 2 courses now. So we'll see, but I will be back. Look for look for some type of announcement when I'm going to be doing the daily devotional. It's going to be either 5 or 7 days. I'm going to come on YouTube live every day. Also, look for more videos from me on a weekly basis starting in August. All right, guys. So I hope this is a blessing to you. If you do, if you find it useful, click the like button. If you have any particular questions regarding conferences and workshops, put them in the comment section. I will try to answer them. I'm going to be going on vacation soon, but I will try to get to them and answer your questions. All right, guys. God bless you. Bye bye.